Hi, and welcome to Going to IE podcast. Today, we have a special guest. It's Haley Damm-Hamblin, the Junior Manager of the Financial Aid Department at IE. Welcome, Haley. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much for having me be here.
So, today we're going to talk about financial aid. Could you start by explaining the different types of financial aid available at the university?
Absolutely. So we're really lucky here at IE that we have a lot of different scholarships offered to incoming students, as well as some awards that are offered to students directly with their admission. So I think it's really fantastic that at IE, candidates can basically find a scholarship that meets their needs. We have a lot of different options, and we're sure that any candidate who's applying will find a scholarship that matches their profile.
So to start off, what are the eligibility requirements for these financial aid options, including academic performance, financial need, or other qualifications?
So anyone who is an admitted student to IE can apply for scholarships. As soon as someone has an admission or conditional admission to the university, that's the only requirement to apply for financial aid. So there's no minimum grade requirement or maximum financial capacity for the family. Anyone who's admitted to the university can apply. And I think that that creates a really welcoming environment within the department so that we have candidates from so many different backgrounds and all of them are welcome to apply.
Could you highlight the various scholarship opportunities more specifically for students?
Yeah, so at IE, we have scholarships that are broken down into kind of three general categories, which are merit, values, and diversity. And so the merit scholarships sometimes have an academic requirement, but luckily all of the descriptions for our scholarships can be found on our website. And so if you meet those academic requirements, it's listed there and you'll know exactly what those entail. We also have our values scholarships, which some of the values at IE are sustainability, humanities. We have scholarships geared for students who have really excelled extracurricularly in the values that we hold near and dear here at IE. And then we also have our diversity scholarships, which can include, for example, the Women in STEM scholarship, which is for women students who are applying to one of our STEM programs so that we can get, more interest in those categories. And so another really cool thing is that at IE, you can apply for up to 3 scholarships. So I always suggest to candidates, if they can, to apply for a scholarship from each of those categories of diversity, values, and merit. And that way they have a great chance of finding not just 1, but 3 scholarships that they can apply for that really match their profile.
That's great. So I heard a thing about IE Collaboration Scholarship. What is this? Could you tell us?
So that is my personal favorite scholarship because it allows candidates who apply for that scholarship and receive that scholarship to work on a project with someone on staff at IE. And I think that's just such a cool opportunity because it gives you the ability to connect with a staff member at IE who can act as a mentor. You have kind of this insider who can be really helpful throughout your time at IE, as well as it gives you the ability to connect with other students who maybe you wouldn't have crossed paths with otherwise. It's so easy, once you get here to really only hang out with the people in your class or, your different social groups. And by being a collaborator, you get to connect with people who work at the university as well as other students.
Great. Could you walk us now through the application process that a student has to go through for these financial aid helps?
Absolutely. So, as I said, you need to be admitted to the university to be able to apply for financial aid. But as soon as you have that admitted or conditional admission status, then you're welcome to apply through our online platform. You'll use the same credentials that you used for admission. And we know that this is an important decision-making factor in where you end up going to a university. So the process is pretty quick. We don't want to make it too complicated for anyone. So once you log in and select which scholarships you'd like to apply for, you upload a short essay just kind of highlighting your merits as a candidate, as well as explaining a bit about your family's financial situation. And then we ask for contact information for parents or guardians or the people who are financially responsible for you. And then they'll receive a brief financial questionnaire via email. And in that questionnaire, it's fairly straightforward. We mostly ask for information about income and any significant debts or assets so we can get an overview of your family's financial background and situation going into, financially planning for your time for the upcoming 4 or 5 years. Once we have a completed application, your application gets processed by the financial aid team. And we're really lucky that we have people on the team who specialize in different regions of the world so that we really get this kind of holistic view of the candidate. And we understand, your extracurriculars, your academics, and we're really looking at candidates as a whole person rather than just, numbers. So we get a really great idea of who you are and, what your plans look like. And then within 1 to 3 weeks of submitting your complete application, you'll get a result back from the Financial Aid Scholarship Committee.
Well, that was pretty clear. Regarding deadlines that students should know of, what are some dates that are special?
So we recommend applying as soon as possible, as soon as students have their admission or conditional admission. We want you to get things in as soon as possible because funding is rolling. So, earlier on, the better. We always guarantee that there will be some available funding through July, but if you can get it done before then, that's definitely the best opportunity you'll have.
Great. So regarding the scholarships and what you have to do after getting one, I think some scholarships require for students to then have to do some tasks at IE. What does this consist of? What tasks are we talking about?
So the only scholarship that requires any sort of, work to be done is the collaboration scholarship, where you're working on that project with a supervisor. And every year we get more and more collaboration requests because that program just has such a wonderful reputation at the university that more and more staff members, more professors every year are requesting to work with collaborators. So that means we have collaborators in every single department at IE. So collaborators can be doing things like leading campus tours for prospective families, which is really cool. Since we are lucky enough to have such a diverse student body at IE, it's always so fun when we can find a student who's from the same country or even city as a family coming to visit. And they're like, oh my gosh, I never thought that I would get to do a campus tour for another family from Lithuania or something like that. So it's a really great opportunity to get to connect with people from where you are and kind of tell them about IE, as well as we have collaborators in the sports and well-being department who are working there. We have people working really just in every single department, working with professors on research. It can take on such a wide variety of projects, and we get such great feedback from both collaborators and their supervisors. The program gets more and more interest every single year.
That's great. Actually, I work at marketing and I have 10 collaborators helping me out. So that's amazing.
I'm sure you're super happy with all of them.
I am. And are there other scholarships that require any responsibility as far as having a minimum grade during your studies?
So luckily, all of our scholarships, as long as you pass all of your classes, renew automatically at the same amount for the duration of your degree. We understand that, students and their families make a financial plan with this scholarship amount in mind, and we don't want them to need to reapply for it every year. So as long as students are passing all of their classes, they'll get to maintain that scholarship at the same quantity for the duration of their degree.
Great. Changing topics, how does this department at IE contribute to promoting diversity and inclusion within the students?
So last year, for the students that are coming in now in 2023, we actually provided financial aid for students from 121 different nationalities. And I think that's just incredible because I don't know about you, but I definitely could not name 121 countries off the top of my head.
No way.
We get applications and I always need to, pull out Google Maps to find some of these places. But I think that just shows how much IE values diversity and the financial aid department especially.
That's great. And how do you keep students aware of these financial aid opportunities?
So by doing things like this, so hopefully some of the listeners will get interested in financial aid and apply. Our website is also a fantastic resource. We have all of our scholarships listed. We have descriptions of all of them. And financial aid is always at every single IE open house. We do various online sessions. And if someone has found out a bit about financial aid and wants to know more, our team is always willing to get on a Zoom call, a phone call, emails, whatever works best for the candidate to be able to provide them with more information.
What advice would you give high school students to prepare for this financial aid process?
So the main thing I would actually advise is to just kind of brag about yourself. In the financial aid essays, this is the best place to explain your merits and why you're a great candidate. And I think sometimes candidates can be a little bit shy. Maybe they don't want to sound like they're showing off or anything. But in the financial aid department, we don't know the candidates yet, and we want to get to know you. And so there's absolutely no reason to not tell us about all the wonderful things you've done in your high school experience, outside of high school. We know you're a great candidate, but we need to know why. So my biggest advice is to just brag about yourself a little bit and feel totally fine doing that.
So I think it's pretty clear how to apply for financial aid and how to prepare for it. Could you share with us any success stories from a student that applied to financial aid and had to overcome financial problems and now is successfully studying at IE?
Absolutely. So we have a highly competitive scholarship called the IE Parents Young Talented Leaders Program, which is funded entirely by donations to IE from parents of students. And this scholarship covers 100% of tuition fees and living expenses. And so this scholarship is reserved for students who would not be able to come to IE with anything less than that type of coverage. And so every year, the students who are given that scholarship just have such an incredible journey. Last year, we were lucky enough to be able to award that scholarship to 5 incoming students. And I have to say that when those students come to campus and I get to meet them, that is absolutely the most gratifying part of my job. And just hearing them talk about, how they never thought that they would be able to come to a university like IE, and to know that, that was made possible by the generous donations to the IE Foundation, as well as the financial aid department, really just shows what incredible work the whole department is doing.
Wow, that is impressive. And are there any changes or upcoming improvements planned for the financial aid department?
So every year, we try to look at, what scholarships are offered, see if there's anything else that we can be doing. And actually, last year, we launched a new scholarship, the IE Sustainability Scholarship. And last year, it was only open to students who were applying for the Bachelor in Environmental Sciences for Sustainability. And it got such great interest that now this year, that scholarship is open to all candidates who have an interest in sustainability, because that is a big value here at IE. So every year we try to come up with new scholarships that can be offered, improve the ones that we have. For the collaboration scholarship, for example, every year we get feedback from collaborators, from their supervisors, to see how the program can be improved. We're really constantly looking at how we can make things better. As IE grows, we are growing as a department, and we want to adapt to the needs of our students.
That's great. And do you know how many students get a scholarship each year?
So the amount grows each year with every increasing student body. So I don't have exact numbers for the incoming class, but I can say that every single year it is more and more students.
So you would say and welcome all students to apply for financial aid?
Absolutely. We have students who are receiving scholarships from every single background imaginable. I think I have seen, every single type of sport that a candidate has participated in, every single, it's a great opportunity for me as well to learn about all the different types of students that we have here at IE. So I would highly recommend that anyone who's interested in IE apply for financial aid. It's a great way to, get more involved in the university as well.
Well, I totally emphasize students also to apply for financial aid. I had a scholarship when I was a student at IE, and it was great. I had the collaboration one, so I did some of these tasks that Haley talked about. And is there anything else you would like to add, Haley?
That's so cool that you went from being a collaborator to now having collaborators of your own. That is like the best collaboration success story that I could imagine.
Totally.
And yeah, just to add that, I think that financial aid, makes opportunities for so many students to be able to attend IE, and we want to make that happen.
Great. Well, it was a pleasure having you, Haley, and I hope you enjoyed this podcast.
Thanks so much, and I hope to receive applications from many listeners.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.